part 4 of my story / lifeline. Alright, I ended at me falling and crashing in my face, and yeah. Also, that year, living in Strasbourg. Oh my god, wait. I used to have this dream that, like, the teacher's desk was, like, here, and there's, like, kids here, and the door was next to the teacher's desk, and, like, I don't even know. The teacher was sitting at her desk, and she was trying to look at something on the board, and I was, like, standing right in front of her. And, like, she was trying to look at something, and I was, like, standing there, and she's like, that's where I learned you're not a door, or, I mean, you're not a good window. And she was like, you know, you're a really good door, but not so much a window. And I was like, what are you talking about? And, like, I was really lost, but then I understood it, and I was like, oh, ha, 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 ha. But I think that wasn't a dream. I think that could have really happened, and it was at that school, because I don't remember what that classroom looked like. So, maybe it wasn't a dream. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so that year also, my mom was at work, and I'm pretty sure my sisters were with her. And it was just me and my dad, and I was super sick. Right? Like, but I was still, like, since I was little, I was like, let's play, let's do this, let's go do things, like, yay. The kid that lives, like, next to the school, like, me and the kid that I was talking about at first, like, here's the school, we lived, like, right in front of it, but my other friend, he lived right next to it. So, my dad was friends with his dad, so we went over there, and, like, me and him were playing around, right, and my dad was downstairs with him playing video games. Oh, no, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was, and me and him were just playing outside, you know, me and my friend, and, like, we were playing on the little swing set that they had, and then my dad, this was the most terrifying moment of my life, like, literally, oh my god, I don't think I've ever been more terrified of anything, like, oh. But my mom messaged my dad and was like, remember, I'm in 2nd grade, right? But my mom messaged my dad and was like, you need to give Corley your medicine. It's at our house in the mirror, and this is what it's called. I don't even know that she put the name of it, but she was like, it's pink, and, you know, she described it, and so my dad went over and got the medicine, and at that time, I was a terrible child. Like, I would not take medicine whatsoever because I hated taking pills, right? Like, just because I didn't want to, like, I didn't like medicine at all, whatsoever. And so he brought it back over, and he was like, okay, it's time to take your medicine. And, like, so I, like, sat there, and I was like, this doesn't look like my medicine. It's too small. And he was like, whatever, Corley, stop lying. Remember, this is my stepdad. My real dad, I didn't even know about him, I don't think. Like, I think I knew about him, but I didn't really, like, mentally, like, oh, I have a real dad out there. Like, I think he was just out of my mind. But I call my stepdad my dad because he's been around for, like, ever. So, he was, like, sitting there, and, like, he's like, come on, Corley, don't lie. I know it's your medicine. Your mom already told me, like, it's your medicine. And I was like, I, like, went to take it, and I was like, is it chewable? Because mine was chewable, because I was super small, so I couldn't, like, swallow pills. And he was like, ew, no, they're not chewable. That's so gross. He was like, you can chew them if you want, but it's going to taste gross. And I was like, then they're not mine. And he was like, yes, they are, Corley. I was like, no, mine are chewable. And he was like, no, Corley, don't lie. I know these are yours. Like, you're just trying to get out of medicine. I was like, no, really, Dad, these aren't mine. And, like, he was like, yes, they are. And we had an argument for, like, 10 minutes about it. And he's like, just take the freaking medicine. So I, like, took it, right? And I went back outside, played for, like, I don't even know how long, because I blacked out after this. Like, there was nothing, no memory whatsoever. All I remember is going back out to play, and then waking up in a hospital, because, like, the kid that I was playing with, my dad went back downstairs to play video games with his friend, and my friend, like, apparently, this is what he said, I stopped moving. Like, I was playing on the swing, and I stopped moving, and I just, like, started, like, foaming out of my mouth, and, like, I wouldn't respond to him, like, I wouldn't talk to him, nothing. And he went and got my dad, and was like, there's something wrong with your daughter. So he came up and checked, and apparently they called the ambulance or something, because I woke up in the hospital, and I remember them having to, like, completely flush my system with charcoal or something, and I was like, ugh, I hate that taste. Oh, I can still, like, I can't even. Okay, but I remember waking up in the hospital, and my mom was super mad. Like, ooh, you don't want to get my mom mad. Like, yikes. I remember my mom, it was like, my dad was sitting here, like, the bed was right here, right? And my head was up here, and then at the end of my bed, against the wall, there was, like, the door, and then there was my dad, my mom, and then Shaylin and Kayla. And, like, they're all sitting there watching me, and I, like, opened my eyes, and I was like, where am I? Oh, my goodness. I was in the hospital for a while, and, like, yeah, if they wouldn't have flushed my system soon enough, I could have died. And, like, oh, that was the most terrifying moment of my life. Like, whew, I can't even. Like, I almost died as a second grader. Just let that sink in. But my mom was so mad. You could see it in her face. You know when my mom's mad, because you will see it in her face. Like, she was like, hi, Coralie. And she looked at my dad and was like, I was like, dang, you're in trouble, Dad. But she had to take off work and rush to the hospital with my sisters, because, like, they got the call out of nowhere that I was in the hospital. So, yeah, that was terrifying. I remember sitting in the hospital, and my dad, he's bad at being serious, unless he's mad. So, like, he was joking around, and he was like, hold your breath, and I did it. I was like, okay. I, like, held my breath, and the beeper thing on my heart monitor thing, it, like, stopped. And it was, like, beeping super loud, and I was like, oh, Jesus. And I was like, oh, God, this is it. They're gonna come in and yell at me. Like, Mom's like, don't do that. And I was like, okay. And, like, so I stopped. I remember that. That's the one thing I remember in the hospital. I remember them flushing out my system because they made me drink charcoal. I was like pretty much completely out of it. But, like, I remember that part. Like, I remember, like, halfway being there. Like, I was just like, and they had, like, a little cup, and they're like, you need to drink this. And, like, they were making me drink it, and I was like, ugh. It was bad. Okay. But, yeah, that happened. Then we moved out of Colorado Springs, and we moved back to Elizabeth. Yay. I'm pretty sure I was living in a house, like, on the corner of the road, and I remember I had a Dora blanket hanging up on my window because I didn't have curtains. And, like, I started talking to my best friend again, thank goodness, right? Yay. But, yeah. I remember moving, and, like, I was so sad because the Javian, like, I was like, no, I don't want to leave him. I'm never going to talk to him again. Yeah, I've never talked to him since I moved. Isn't that sad? I know. But, yeah, I remember Dora, it was, like, green. And I got it for Christmas one year. that Christmas I got books and stuff. I have pictures of that, probably in storage once again, but yeah. We were living there. There was a Dora blanket. It was like green, and then there's Dora in the middle, like a big Dora. And so yeah, I remember that. And I had this little room, and I had this like bed that like if you press buttons like kind of underneath it, it like shoots down, right? So it's like compatible. Like, oh, not compatible. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, it was like it would just go down. Yeah. But I had that for a while. I missed a year. Oh, look, time's almost up. We'll go to the year I missed, and that'll be part 5? Part 5, I think. This is gonna go forever. This is gonna be like a series. It should be episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Okay, anyways. Part 5. Love you guys. Stay strong.